application menu. And all I'm going to do here is show you that there's two different color options. So you've got a light background or a dark background. Again, this is purely on user preference. I just prefer the darker background, so I'm going to be using this for the webinar. On your first login, you'll see that this is default view. So this has been a customized view, so every single user that clicks onto the platform the first time will see this particular view. The space is defined by worksheets. I've got security information, a market depth, and a portfolio widget. Now, clients and users are more than are able to change and chop and change and remove widgets, add more worksheets in. In order to save, it's quite simple. You log out, and once you log in again, the workspace will have been saved. So that's just one of the cool features of the platform. So just getting into the, again, just keeping it high level for now. You'll notice each one of these widgets, when you hover over it, it's got these space bars, or these icons. Every widget can be maximized. So you want a little bit more space, you want to see what's going on, you maximize the widget. You've also got the ability to remove the widget from its container. So what I'm doing here is if I've got multiple work screens, I can put this widget on a different work screen. So it will then open up two widgets basically. You'll have your watch list here on your main screen, and a detached watch list on a separate screen, on a separate tab. You've also got these other widgets menu. That's the burger menu within the widgets. You have the ability to, again, add, detach, maximize. You can either remove the widget or replace it with a separate one. I'll get into that at a later stage. A very cool item is to download as a spreadsheet. So should you have data, a watch list, a portfolio, and you want to put that information into an Excel spreadsheet, that is possible. You can further carve out the widgets, and a very important item here is the Help Center. So I'm actually going to click on the Help Center now for the watch list widget. It will open up a separate page, and what you'll find is it takes me to the help guide for the watch list. So definitely beneficial for some basic queries and troubleshooting, or you want to understand the columns a bit better. Gives a lot of good information within the help guide. So it's always best to look at the help guide. Just closing it up. I mentioned previously, so Iris provides software across trading, portfolio, market data, and advice. Okay, so these, I'm going to call them three pillars. So the ones that we are interested in at the moment is trading, portfolio, and market data. And what I'm going to do is build out worksheets based on these pillars. And you'll see how it becomes quite intuitive to follow that sort of view. So in order to create a worksheet, you simply click New, and I'm going to call this one Market Data. So I've just double clicked, I'm typing in Market Data and hitting Enter. Now I've got options to just then add a widget, so that will just take one widget and take the whole space, but I don't want to do that. I'm going to go and divide my work screen, and I'm going to split it 2 by 2. So in other words, creating 4 containers. And at the top here, I want to create a watch list. So I'm just typing in watch list, add a chart. Bottom left, I want to add a dividends. And finally, on the bottom right, for those users that want to be a bit quicker in terms of selecting, if you hold down on your left mouse button, you'll have the ability to select a watch list quickly, a quote, carve out your widget further, or go add widget. So I'm going to do that, and I'm just going to add a security information. Of course, there are a wealth of widgets, so I'm just going all the way back. These are the widgets all available. And there are always enhancements onto these, so I'll get into that at a later stage of this webinar. So security information, and press OK. Oops. I previously selected it. Okay, so now I've got 4 widgets without any market data in them, without any holding. So I don't have a standard bank security. I'm now going to give that some data. Before I include some market data in here, I just want to point you to these broadcast groups. So you'll see each widget has a broadcast group. Clicking on the broadcast group opens up these colors or broadcast groups. You got from 1 till 5. I'm going to just in this orange broadcast group in order to make the widgets linked. So all these widgets will then be linked to that same broadcast group. So I've now linked everything. If I hover over the orange, it will tell me that these 4 are all linked in my market data workspace. So it's just telling me that everything's been linked correctly. I'm now going to give one of the widgets some market data. So I'm going to give it a share. So I've now populated standard bank in one of the widgets. And because they're all linked, it will populate across the board. So any widgets that linked, and you can even link that across worksheets. So in my market data workspace, I've linked to this orange broadcast group. But if I had a widget here in my default workspace, sharing the same broadcast group, I can actually share it then across work, which is a very cool feature. So just for this presentation, I'm just going to expand each one of these widgets just to talk about them in a little bit more detail. So I've got a chart widget open. You'll notice you've got so 1 minute all the way to 1 hour, your 1 day up to 12 months. So I'm just going to use a 1-day view. So that's taking a close of day price. Various line styles. So I'm just going to select the line chart. And there's a multitude of indicators. So please feel free, have a look. There's quite a lot, VWAP, etc. If you do need a little bit more assistance, again, have a look at the help guide. There's a lot of information in there. I'm not happy with the particular color. Everyone can change the colors, make it look like the way that you would want. In order to change or configure anything on the chart, you'll notice I've got a standard bank security name showing here. If I hover over format or click on format, it will give me the ability to change the color. So I'm just going to make this a lighter blue, make the line thicker, and press OK. Another cool piece of functionality here is that you can compare securities, and this is across asset classes. So you can compare futures, you can compare spot markets, any market data which is available in the system can then be compared in the chart. So I'm just going to hit compare, and I'm going to say AGL, so across sector. You'll notice it's in a purple color. Again, I'm just going to edit that. Again, going to the AGL, clicking on format, style, and I'm making that a bright green. And just going to expand the line, make it thicker. In order to scroll out, that will obviously increase. If I'm scrolling out, I'm going further. If I'm scrolling in, it's becoming closer to the present. And what's important, it rebases me when I'm comparing the performance of these two. I can go ahead and add more securities. So you're not limited just to the two. Yeah, I'm going to add in another one here. And you'll see it will load as a light, it's a darker green. Again, I can change those colors. I can make that more an orange and expand it out. So I can now go ahead and create a view of a lot of different securities across asset classes. So that's a very, very powerful feature of the chart. And this is an alternative to the OSTs, which a lot of clients will be familiar with. So definitely worth around with the charting system. The one item here is that on the far left-hand side called Show Drawing Toolbar. So it's a little bit hidden, but it's on the far left-hand side of your chart. If you click on that, you have your trend lines, your pitchforks, short and long positions, lots of good information. So just play around with that. If you're needing assistance with it, again, the help guide provides quite a lot of detailed information. You've also got the ability to save your chart. So should you want to save it for a later stage, I'm just going to call this chart 2 and hit OK. I can load the chart. I can have a multitude of charts, all with different indicators and different views, and I can then load them at a later stage or delete them. So that's just some of the charting features. Just going to close the chart. On the watch list, I'm going to expand it again. So there's two particular views I want to talk about here. We've got something called predefined watch lists, and we've got something called user-defined watch lists. A predefined is just something, it's a system-defined watch list. So for example, I can go /J203 and hit enter, and that gives me the all share. There's a multitude of other ones, but if I just go J200 as an example, that will give me my top 40. So that's just a quick way of putting through these indexes. I'm now going to clear that, and I'm going to start building up my own. So I can go SPK, either click or hit enter, AGL, and I can start creating my own watch list. Again, not limited to only equities. Any sort of market, either futures market, spot market, can all be pulled through in your watch list. And you can move the columns or the securities around within the watch list by just dragging and dropping. You also can then save, similar to what the chart was. You can save your watch list and you can load them at a later stage. Importantly, we said the predefined watch lists are done by a / or are found by a /. The user-defined are found by a dollar symbol. That's just a quicker way of loading a watch list. So instead of clicking on load, I can just say use this symbol and then search for my watch list like that. Finally, within the watch list, you'll have this customized table. So any widget that has columns, this sort of column view, has a customized table. If you click on that, it will show you a multitude of hidden columns, which are easily accessed by clicking on them and saying on show and save changes, and you'll see them at the end. And again, these can all be moved around by clicking on the column itself and moving it through to where you would want it. Previous dividends, particular widget in. This is just giving you your final and interim divs, as well as any special divs which were paid out by the security. And security information is giving you some basic info, telling you the market cap, PEs, and div ratios, etc. So again, there's a lot of different widgets within the actual platform. It's always best to just play around with it and create a workspace or market data workspace as you see fit. Just getting into this next pillar. So I've got a market data worksheet. I'm now going to create a portfolio worksheet. And again, just by hitting enter, I'm just going to add widgets. I'm not going to divide my screen as I did previously. Hit OK. So what you'll see, it's a blank widget. It hasn't got an account or portfolio attached to it yet. And if I go to the drop down, whether you've been trading on online share trading yet, or if you're a new client, you'll obviously have your own portfolio. If you've been trading, you'll be able to see some positions. So I've been trading on my portfolio. So if I click on it here, it will now open up a pie chart view. It's just loading. Let's try open up an alternative. Just going to remove that widget quickly. Add on the portfolio again. I think it could be my line. I'll touch on this. I'll touch on this particular widget again. It could just be my line at the moment. Just going to create another worksheet, and this one is called trading. So we've touched on the market data. I'll get back onto the portfolio. This is now the trading worksheet, and this is where the power of the system comes to its own. I'm going to divide my workspace 2 by 2 again. And what I'm going to do here is give this particular container a watch list. Over here, I'm going to give it a order ticket. The bottom right, an order pad. And finally, a trades. So why have I set up this particular view? Well, it gives me the life cycle of an order. And you're not limited to broadcasting only market data. The power there is that you can broadcast accounts or portfolios. So I don't want to put it on just the same broadcast or the orange group. I'm going to put it on this purple group. So again, I'm just going to link up my widgets. So now they're all in this purple group. I can go and search for a particular account, which will then broadcast through to my other accounts, and I can give it some market data. Oops. There you go. So the importance here is that you have a view again. So from order origination, I've got an order ticket, and we'll talk a bit more about the trading and the trading aspect now. You've got an order pad loaded as well as a trades widget. So I think it's actually something to do with my account here. That's why it's not populating all the data, all the accounts through. So let's just touch on the where you can buy and sell from. So you can buy and sell from the buttons at the top on the top right hand side. If I click on that, it opens up a order entry ticket. That's just simply giving me a curtain, so I can hide and show the curtain, put some market data in it, and hit place buy order. The alternative is anywhere that says bid and ask on your platform. So anywhere that you see these bright green reds, simply clicking on it again will take you through to your order entry. And you can buy and sell from there. Alternatively, and the way that I like to use is this order ticket. This is a widget. You're able to select your portfolio, select your security, put in your variables. So how much volume, what is the order type between limit and market, and your lifetime, be it in end of day. Place a buy order. Again, my account is not pulling through at the moment, but if I place a buy order, it feeds my order pad, and once it's been matched, it will feed my trades widget. So that's just one view of trading. So I've got this life cycle of an order end to end. What I'm going to do here, instead of having a watch list, because I could do something like this, J200, and all I do is click on the security, and it will then feed my order ticket. So I can, it's just a quicker way of using the system. So more for speed than anything else. But what I wanted to show you is that within this container view, I'm going to click on widget menu, limited to just this one widget. So I can go ahead and add, and let's say, for example, I want a market depth. So I'm just going to click on that. So now what you see here is a worksheet called trading. And within this worksheet, I've got an order ticket, an order pad of trades, a market depth, and importantly, I've got a watch list next to it. So I've actually got both in the same space. Again, if I give that a purple group, hit AGL, my depth will now display. So I've got, just wanted to touch a little bit on the depth. You've got three types. You've got delayed depth, which means 15 minutes delayed. You wouldn't see any depth there. You've got a live level 1, which is just your top line of depth. That's just saying what is the best bid and ask in the market. And finally, you've got 5 lines of depth, which will basically be these lines here, and 5 lines into the bid and asks. So that's more for guys that are actively trading. You want to see where the market is and where it's going. So there is another feature I want to talk about. These are some additional features that clients don't really make use of, but are also quite powerful. You've got something called top dock, and you've got something called left dock. So clicking on top dock, it will open up this space as you see here. I'm going to go and click add widget, and you'll see this quote ticker. You've got a couple of other widgets that are available. I'm just going to hit OK. And I'm going to enter watch list. It could have been my own, customized. Again, use this particular symbol of the dollar symbol will bring up my user-defined. Alternatively, the // will bring the predefined watch list. But I'm just going to go ahead and create or use one of the widgets that I had already. One of the watch list, apologies. I'm just going to make that a bit bigger. Okay, so what I have running here is a quote ticker. The benefits of using this top dock is that I can then use my worksheets and keep track of what's happening in my important stocks. So I'm going to go to my market data widget or my worksheet, and I'm seeing my quote ticker running at the top. So that's all. It's very handy if you're busy playing around with the system, you're trying out certain things, but you want to keep track of the market and where it's going. To remove that quote ticker, you simply click on the top dock again, and there you go. You're back to where you were, trying to maximize that and the space. You've also got left dock, and that performs a similar role. Again, you've got a couple of widgets available. Simply clicking on the plus will then add the widgets to the container. I've been asked quite a few questions around sizing of the platform. So in terms of I can't see things, I need to zoom in and out. That functionality is actually based on the browser itself. So if I click on the browser tab here and I go zoom in, you'll see I'll zoom into the actual platform. Zooming out will obviously make the font smaller, but will give me more real estate. Alternatively, if I click on the top part here and I just hold Control and use my mouse key, you'll notice that I'm also now zooming in and out. So that's just, if you feel like you need a bit more real estate, definitely make use of that. Just going to touch on a few more housekeeping items. So the ViewPoint upgrade, the ViewPoint platform rather, is upgraded once a month. So there's always new features and functionality that are being introduced. Post an upgrade, that first day you log in, you'll get a little pop-up saying what's new. That's just saying what is new with the platform. One of the features that were recently added for clients that are making use of it, if you look at a particular security, it now shows the flag. So that is more visual in nature. There's a lot of other things that have become new widgets that are enabled, and we are always looking for feedback. So I'll get into how you can give us feedback, how you can give standard bank feedback, but that is very critical in terms of progressing the platform. Without feedback, we obviously the platform will only stagnate because users actually provide the power of the system. So one of those ways to give feedback is we've created a widget. I'm just going to click on new again. ViewPoint survey. Just going to be opening that up. So that will load a survey page where you can give some basic information. Importantly, at the end, it does give, if you would like to provide your name and contact details so we can be in contact. That's always useful for us. The alternative is to go to the OST center. So I'm just going to go back to standard bank online over here. I'm just going to click on log off. And over here, you'll see the Twitter page, SBG Trader ZA. Always good to follow them. Always give some good information. And you've got the contact centers. So you've got the South African contact call center, as well as the email center. So that's a second way of contacting. And should there be something urgent, this is the route to follow. If you need some more information, this is the way to go. Just to close out, we've got a few more webinars that are upcoming. We've got Garth, who will be doing the technical analysis on charting. So that will be coming up this coming week. We also do have Simon Brown, who will be giving his flavor on the ViewPoint platform. And all that can be found here under these webinar, either the downloads or the upcoming webinars here. So if you click on that, that just gives you all the details that you need to then sign up. And yeah, very, very exciting. So hope you found this session of value, and please let me know if you have any questions.
All right, thank you very much.
Guys.
Thank you, Mike. Just a question from Dev Singh, who just wants to know, is there a particular reason, or are you planning on including Fibonacci retracement software? Is that something you'd consider?
Are you talking about the indicator?
Yes.
Or are you talking, is there particular software or trading software?
I'm not sure. Dev. Okay. Dev,
I can show. Sorry, let me just. There's definitely Fibonacci here.
Okay.
Let me just find the one that I'm looking for. Let's just see if that answers the question. So we've got Fib time zone, Fib speed resistance fans, there's a lot of information. I do know there's a fib. This is the one that clients generally use. Fib retracement.
All right. I don't know if Dev is still online, um, but okay. Another question. How do you trade CFDs through ViewPoint? Dave, I'll get that mic. Dave, we've got a webinar coming up a bit later on with Simon Brown, and he'll be going through trading CFDs and a whole lot of other instruments on there. So if you just go to upcoming webinars on the OST site, he will be doing a webinar specifically on that. So any trading or trading related, so in terms of active trading and buying and selling of securities, our subsequent webinars will be dealing with that. So Garth McKenzie will be dealing with technical analysis, which will have some components of that, but Simon Brown mainly will be dealing with that. Okay, I think that's it. Could this also be used for TFI ETFs? Mike?
Trading of the exchange funds.
Yeah.
You can, if it's on the exchange, you can trade it. It's treated as a normal equity.
All right, thank you. So Rochelle wants to know, will each trade show as a separate item, or will it be combined if you place more than one trade on the same security or for the same security?
So you can group it on account. So if you have multiple accounts, my account isn't putting through at the moment here. So what I'm going to do is I'll record the and the session again, just with all the portfolio details flowing through. But you can group by account, your exchange, you can actually group it by security as well. So each line item will display here, but you can then in your trades define only if you want a particular security or if you want to group it by in a particular way. So there is some grouping ability for the users.
Thank you, Mike. And then from Ben Jacobs just wants to know, can he link his OST watch list to ViewPoint, or does he need to create a new one?
Yeah, he'd have to create a new list.
All right. And Quibus wants to know, how do I select the OMI?
So you go OMI here. You got the OMI spot.edm. You've OMI, let's go September contract. So September 19. So what clients generally do is just type in. So that's all there. Let me just type in OMI. You've got a few options here on the spot markets. Okay, but that's the spot mini. Okay, I'll get back to you. Sorry, I'll get back to Quibus. We do have the spot market here, but that seems to be pausing the Aussie contract. I'll get back to the user. Sorry, Quibus.
No problem. And then, so Ursula, I don't know if you've got the OST site open, Michael, but can you just show them how to actually access the ViewPoint? I think you did earlier, but can you just revisit how to get to the ViewPoint from the OST platform?
No problem. So when you're on your home page, you should see these tabs at the top. Simply clicking on ViewPoint will take you through to this page. And by clicking launch, we'll then open up a ViewPoint tab. So I'm just going to click on launch. I just had it preloaded already. Show you as loading, and then we'll load up Iris ViewPoint. So there's no sign in required. It's simply just by clicking ViewPoint and then by clicking launch.
Thank
Does
you. I think
that
that,
answer the question?
yes, it does. Thank you. So a couple of people asking if you can trade offshore shares. No, unfortunately not. This is only for, because on OST you can only trade JSE listed securities. You won't be able to trade offshore. So, Mark,
Can I just answer Cobus's question, Dineo? In order to find the all me, you type in allzmn and it will find the allz mini contract, which is the all me.
all right. Thank you,
Oh, that's
Ishla.
clear. Yeah. Spot on.
Yeah. Yeah.
Mark wants to know, can I only buy and sell equities intermittently using ViewPoint? Currently, I cannot select the order type nor the lifetime.
No, you should be able to trade throughout the day. Are you, so once you select on, have you selected a portfolio? So at the top here, has a portfolio been selected? Once you select the portfolio, it should then display the order type. So you should have the ability to select limit or market. Are you not seeing that at the moment?
He hasn't responded. Okay, let's just wait for him to respond and then we'll take that up.
But sorry, to just answer the question, it should not be intermittent. It should be up from all open hours, even post open hours. So to trade will obviously be during market hours, but the system is available throughout the day, throughout the night.
Perfect. Okay, Michael, if you can you just share your contact details? I'll also share the online share trading contact details so that everyone can know how to get a hold of us if they have any questions.
Sure, I haven't got my contact details loaded here, but I can maybe just read it out quickly. If anyone wants to reach out to me directly, more than happy with that. I'm just gonna say it over the call, but it's michael.mendez, that's with an S, at iris.com. That is my email address. Any queries, please send through to me. Happy to have a look.
All right, thank you. And you can also send queries to securities@standardbank.co.za. That's securities@standardbank.co.za, and we will handle those queries for you. I think there are quite a few issues in terms of trading, so we should be able to assist you with that because I think a lot of them are very individual portfolio issues, and it's just a bit of assistance with navigating the platform. So, other than that, thank you very much, Michael, for your help. To everyone, please do send us any queries you have to securities@standardbank.co.za and just make the subject viewpoint assistance, and then we'll be able to pick those up. All right, Michael.
Thank you very much for your time, guys. Hope everyone has a good day.
Yes, and this will be available. The recording of this webinar will be made available, so you'll be able to refer back to it from the online share trading site.
Perfect. Thank you very much. Thanks for your time, everyone.
Bye.
Bye.